Our next segment is Small Business Scoop. With March being Women's Month and in keeping of the theme of the Small Business Scoop, if you will, I wanted to highlight a small business that's in the area that has been in existence since the early 90s and is now a second generation women-owned and women-run business. I am speaking, of course, of my own small business, Powell & Associates. Some of you may or may not know the history behind Powell & Associates. My mom, Marcine Powell, actually opened the very first real estate brokerage in Lincoln County in 1992. She was breaking barriers even then by doing that. There weren't a whole lot of, as you can imagine, women-owned businesses period in the early 90s, and she branched out and opened her own real estate firm there in Lincolnton. And being a woman, she was really making a statement, which was of course inspiring to me as a young woman growing up. The way that she handles the business and the way that she ran it was really just, I had an instant mentor, an example of how I want to run a business. For years and years, I thought, I don't ever want to be the one that's in charge of making the decisions. However, in March of 2020, I decided it's time to be in charge and make all the decisions. So I was able to, we worked out a thing and I was able to take over Powell & Associates. I relocated it to the central location being Augusta, Georgia. We still serve all of the CSRA in Georgia and in South Carolina. Put a lot of miles on my car driving different places, but I love the CSRA so much that I don't mind. And I enjoy helping people find different parts of the CSRA because as a whole, we are a great group of counties and offer a lot for people that are moving here, or maybe they want to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city and they want to go to the country, or vice versa. I am well versed in both the big city and the country. So I bring a little bit of a niche there, if you will, to being able to know a bit more than most realtors in market and what's available in the whole area. So I enjoy that. And I am continuing that tradition because we didn't limit ourselves to just small town Lincolnton and Washington and Thompson. We did reach beyond. But I took over March 2020, and Powell & Associates went through a relocation, went through a complete rebrand, as you can see in this studio, and what I've been doing with Augusta Podcast and Drop the Discs. And you've seen me on a billboard and you've seen me in magazines and different things. So I've really tried to rebrand and bring Powell & Associates into the 21st century. The tradition of how we've run our brokerage will always remain steadfast in how we serve people and how people are treated when they work with us and how we feel about those buyers or sellers, if you will, and their importance and how much they mean to us individually and as a collective. However, we want to be able to also bring in the innovation of tomorrow. As you know, during the COVID experience, a lot of different industries changed the way they were doing business because they had to. One of the main ways I changed or became flexible with mine is there was more virtual interaction with my clients. There was more electronic communication as far as documents signed, information given, etc. And I also began doing video tours of the property. I have had over the past few years several clients that live out of state, way out of state, and they allowed me to go in and do the video and do my own commentary and point out different things to them on the house to let them make a decision of whether or not this was a house that they would be interested in putting an offer on. And that was very helpful to them. I've probably had, over the past 2 years, I probably had about 10 different buyers that bought homes via my video recording and commentary and things like that, which is a little scary for me because I'm old school and I think that, they need to step foot inside the house. But once they got here, I knew their personality enough and they all ended up loving the house. So that kind of opens it up to what Powell and Associates, and I'm sure other realtors are exploring that avenue of being able to serve their clients in the best way possible. So that is one adjustment that I've done. Taking over the company, I did not feel the need to make an office or have an office for people to locate to. We're in a very virtual, very technological world now, and most people are very comfortable with doing contracts and agreements and things like that through a program that I have that allows them to go over the document and sign, and we do still discuss every part of the contract, but it's not a face-to-face. While I really like face-to-face because I like to pick up on the vibes of my different buyers and sellers, this offers a convenient way, and it gives them the opportunity to not have to wait until they can schedule a time to fly here to take time to look and even getting in on a jump start on those homes that are new to the market. And if I think that they are worth looking at, then they have their eyes and ears here and they can go ahead and, submit an offer or what have you, instead of waiting until they get here and that house may or may not be left with this particular seller's market. So we're working on trying, we want to keep our tradition of customer service and, being all about the client, being all about their needs, their wants, going above and beyond to make sure that their experience in buying a home is exceptional. But at the same time, we're not going to stay in that, not only going to stay in that mind frame, but also be flexible enough to offer things that are more convenient, that allow them to be at a place when they're not able to actually be there. So I'm excited about the culmination of all of this. I began in real estate. I started working in my mom's office when I was a teenager. When I got old enough, I took the course and got my license to sell real estate. So I've been in real estate for 20 plus years, which sounds like a very long time. And then later on, I was able to go and get my broker's license. And, real estate is probably the most fascinating and most rewarding industry that I believe that you can be in. And it is one of those things where if it doesn't feel like a job, it's not. So that's why I spend 7 days a week working real estate. It doesn't feel like a job. It feels like I'm very honored that people choose me to use as, the representative, whether it be buying or selling or investing. I'm very honored because they put their trust in me. And, the company, now that it's in Augusta, is doing great things. We may be small, but we are mighty. I have about 5 agents that work under me. I have one agent in particular that is fixing to take the charge, and we will have a satellite location located in Covington and Conyers area. She will be up there and handling all of the real estate up there. Covington's seeing a lot of growth in industry, a lot like Augusta. It's just really exciting to be in this time. And so she will be starting that in the next few months and be over there working in real estate in Covington, Conyers. I think it covers several counties. So we are very, very excited about that. And, in celebrating women, I do have one man on that has his license with me. So I'm not opposed to men. It's just that we have an awful lot of women, and women predominantly go into residential real estate when they get their license. So, but, in going along with the women celebration this month, I can't go without saying that it was because of the encouragement, the support, the mentorship, the hours of holding my hand when I first began in real estate and teaching me, everything I needed to know. It was, without her, I wouldn't be successful in where I am today. And that is my mother, Marcy Powell. My daddy had a big role in that too, but it's Women's Month, so we're going to focus on the women. But, she just led by example. And, I try very hard to stick towards the philosophy of how she ran Powell & Associates and was so successful in running Powell & Associates for so many years. And, hoping to continue that legacy into the next generation. My older daughter is fixing to get ready to be licensed and begin working with me. So we're just carrying on the torch, if you will. She instilled some good tenets in me that have helped me throughout the years. Patience and persistence is key. Always do what's right. We preach the golden rule in real estate. It may not be a great result in the short term, but in the long term, it will result in great things. Always treat others with respect. I don't care if I have a client that is only buying a $50,000 property or a $5 million property. They are going to get the same respect and attention and focus regardless of what price range they're looking at. Both of them are looking at purchases that mean a lot to them. And that's what's important, not the price amount, but making sure that their ideas, their thoughts, and everything are taken in consideration, and that they are respected during the process. So that is something that's very, very important as far as I'm concerned. And my very special small business scoop for the day is Powell & Associates, and we have a slogan in which we say, combining the traditions of the past with innovations for the future. I want you all to look closely. I've got a commercial that'll be hitting the airwaves in a couple of weeks that I just got through shooting, which is awesome. I've also have several features in magazines across the area. If you will please read those. They are great stories put together by great magazines.